Thank you very much for joining us for one more round. That was a clap.
It wasn't
Do a little
really.
clap again. Do a clap again. Keep clapping, monkey boy.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much for joining us for one more round, and welcome back to another episode of Film Club. We are here for episode 23, 24?
3.
Are you sure? Because that wasn't last week 23. Last week, which we definitely recorded last week and not 30 seconds ago.
Oh, it's 22.
So anyway, we are here this week. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, Andy Donaldson.
Yeah.
That felt rushed. I felt we rushed through it.
Yeah, can we just take some time?
Should we slow down for a little bit? This week, we are talking about...
Fantastic Mr. Fox! By Wes Anderson.
So, give us a summary on Fantastic Mr. Fox.
It's quite well. Everyone knows Roald Dahl. If you're British, you know Roald Dahl. You grew up with Roald Dahl. If you didn't,
Do Americans know Roald Dahl?
I bloody hope
They
so.
must do. Wes Anderson does.
Yeah. So okay, come back to that. So Roald Dahl, everyone knows Fantastic Mr. Fox. You have Boggis, Bean, and Bean's the last one. Sorry,
Banter. Brewery.
Boggis,
Bulge.
Bounce. Is it Boggis, Bounce, and Bean? One small, one fat. No, one fat, one small, one lean.
I don't know what he's saying right now.
You have Fox, who has a family. You have Mr. Fox, who has a family. Mrs. Fox, a kid. I think he has 2 kids in the book, if I recall. But in this, he has like a nephew who comes over, and it's just about them. And it's like a little. It's adapted by the book, like the story about Roald Dahl, and it's about them getting chickens and turkeys from the 3 angry, nasty farmers, which they are technically stealing.
Hang on, it's
My mic's pissing me off.
chickens. Oh, what squab
Squab. What's a squab?
and cider.
What's a squab?
I'm guessing it's a little bird. You finish your wrap up. I'm going to look up what a squab is.
Thanks, mate. And yeah, it's just about them getting the farmers, and then he comes mates with the possum. I thought it was always like a mole, and then the farmers enact revenge because they're pissed off with the fox. Sorry, cussed off with the fox. I want to say using cuss for this episode.
That was so good. I love that.
So
What the cuss?
Cussed off with the fox, so they dig him out, and then all the other animals come together. And admittedly, I only watched half the film because I was quite busy, but I've seen it many times before because I do like it. And yeah, it's eventually it's just about how Mr. Fox deals with farmers. How does he deal with the farmers?
In culinary terminology, squab is a young domestic pigeon, typically under 4 weeks old.
Really?
Or it's meat.
Hello. I'm just making sure my audio level's fine. I just give out of nowhere, sorry.
That's what a squab is.
Right, thanks. So what do you think of Mr. Fox?
I
Right,
thought we were just
Before
going to
we
talk
do-
about squab all episode.
Cool.
I hadn't actually watched the film.
Let's just go on about the whole thing. The reason we wanted to do Mr. Fox is we wanted to do Wes Anderson for ages, because Wes Anderson is, for me, he's such a good director.
I actually can't believe this is the first time we're doing a Wes Anderson film.
I know, I can't. It's like, he's up there for me with Martin Scorsese, he's up there with Ridley Scott, some of his stuff.
Oh no,
Prometheus.
we totally didn't talk about Ridley Scott and Tony Scott last episode.
Yeah, well.
Never mind. We'll do it some other time. Carry on.
And it's just, to have Wes Anderson now, I remember the film that got me into him was Grand Budapest Hotel. Me and my dad used to go to the cinemas quite often, and we watched that. And I've seen Wes Anderson before, because I've seen Mr. Fox, I think it's his first film by him. And
Fantastic Mr. Fox?
was the first film I saw by him. I could be wrong.
Okay, I thought you meant his first film.
No. He's done many, a few. But the Grand Budapest, me and Dad was like, fucking hell, cussing hell, that was hilarious. Like, the way he just does everything, the way he tells stories, the camera angles, the thing, even the consistency the actors use, I'm just getting really cussed off with this.
That's because that mic is looking pretty weird.
Yeah, it's just annoying me. It's because we rushed into it. I blame you. So you're going to tuck this in here, so I have no problems.
Just tucking it into his gut.
I have a big gut. It's like Boggis is good. Oh, cussing cuss. So cringy.
Go on, finish your story.
So cringy. And yeah, so it was. And I watched Moonrise Kingdom. I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
Supposed to watch the Royal Tenenbaums. That's what we're going to do instead of this. But we thought this is available on Netflix. It's easy to watch, and you just have to love his great style. I think a lot of people might say a bit like Marmite. Like there might be a lot of people out there that don't really appreciate his style. Like, oh, it's a bit too quirky for me, sort of thing. But for me,
absolutely,
it's so good. And one of the most notable examples of Wes Anderson's kind of style is I don't want to use the word quirkiness for the submarine episode. Just the almost like idiotic nature of his characters, and like a good example is when Mr. Fox is about to eat his. It's just so spontaneous. He's about to eat his waffles, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, it should be good." Yeah.
Yeah, he's got great comedic timing about the whole thing.
Exactly. For fuck's sake, cuss sake. So, for me, the thing about Wes Anderson that just strikes me as amazing is the weekend. I think you mentioned this when we were in the pub the other day. His 2D nature to the film. So,
yeah.
especially in this, when he first goes out with a possum who's called God knows Colin or something like that.
He's called God knows Colin.
And they're going across to all the farms, and it's going like side scrolling across. It's like playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And then you got the scenes where Wes Anderson's famous for. It's got the scene where it zooms in. Something happens, like Ash, I think it's talking to Christopherson in the room, and it zooms out. Excuse me. And I just like how the camera pans like that. He did a H&M, Wes Anderson did a H&M advert.
Oh, the Christmas one.
And that's a great example of Wes Anderson. Like, please watch it.
Remind me, I'll put it down here.
Oh, yeah. So the way it's going from carriage to carriage, it's going up, and then it has that little kid. And it's when the corridor comes down, everyone comes out the room, and the kid's there, and waits for the kid to come, then it switches round.
It's got this wonderful sense of like theatre about it, because it's this flat space movement. Like, he has this crackling. Sorry, I thought we heard some crackling on the audio. Yeah, the flat space movement really adds a sense of theatricality to the whole thing. You feel like you're kind of watching. You feel like you're watching a play in a lot of respects. Like, he's not doing films where like you feel like it's a real world event or anything.
Yeah, like it's like
he's totally going, this is a film, enjoy this crazy story.
It's someone else did that. We were on about the other. Yeah, I can't remember. Mine's absolutely shot. Why does that work then? Is it because you literally? Is it just saying like, no, you're here to enjoy yourself?
I think so. Yeah, because like there's a lot of directors which take that mentality of like, I'm going to try and hide the fact you're watching a film, and like this is where the idea of like classical editing comes from, continuity editing. The idea that editing should be hidden, like you shouldn't notice editing, you shouldn't notice the lighting.
What's a good example of that besides Birdman?
Actually, Birdman's not. Birdman draws a lot of attention to the fact that it's a single shot piece of work, and like everyone basically spends that entire film trying to guess where the cuts are.
Is the intro to Spectre the same, or is the intro to Spectre a good example?
Fuck the intro. Cuss the intro to Spectre.
Cuss.
You can cuss it to cuss, because fuck it.
Cuss it.
We'll do it some other time when we're not on the subject of foxes and animation, but you don't.
I know, yeah, we weren't even talking about the whole Fantastic Mr. Fox story, anything like that, but I think the main point about this film is just how interesting Wes Anderson is and how much he engages his audience and says, like, you know, this is my style.
Exactly.
Please enjoy.
The thing he's doing is that he's not trying to pretend that you're not watching a film. Like, he's one of those people that puts his hands up and says, look, you are watching a film, now let's play with that medium. Let's play with what we can do with it. Let's draw attention to some line. Let's draw attention to some of the cuts. Let's draw attention to the way we're moving the camera. Edgar Wright does a similar sort of thing. He's not trying to hide the way he edits.
I think that was the film I was thinking when my head went all blank. When we did Scott Pilgrim, it's like you said, you know, the amount of like game involved. It's like, you're here to watch a film. This is an experience for you. A good example is Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. Oh no, something happened. I just thought of something then. Cool little fact I read yesterday.
What's a cool little fact?
It's just there's a song called Avril 14th, and it's by Aphex Twin, and it's at the end of a particular film that I was looking at last night. It's also many people know Avril 14th because it's sampled by Kanye West and Blame Game for the album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But there's a really good use of the Shaun of the Dead's got that kind of like country kind of vibe to it. I'm sorry, I got a massive tangent here. That lovely kind of vibe to it. You have Dead Man's Shoes, which uses Aphex Twin's Nanu 2 towards the end of the film. And there's another film, the one I was looking at last night, I can't remember, the credits uses Avril 14th. And it's just nice how these kind of like country films where we grew up, you know, like not where we grew up, but similar places like the North York Moors. It's nice to know that there's this like kind of it was 4 Lines at the end of 4 Lines, even though it's quite a recent one. But these people like have this love for like kind of Aphex Twin. Anyway, that was my point. Nothing to do with Wes Anderson and Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm terribly sorry. But
all right, we've got another good entry into trivia time.
Well, it's a different one. I don't know how to like Aphex Twin. Now, Wes Anderson is not just good at projecting like a film towards you that is a film. He's incredible at directing his actors.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's just again skip away from the fact of watching Fantastic Mr. Fox. Let's go on about the fact that let's use Grandpa the Best Hotel as an example, which we will do. We will do. We haven't done it yet because we've only got 17 subscribers and we're trying to... That's the real reason. I want to hold off. Because I think it's that good of a film to like kind of wait till the end because I want to build up through Wes Anderson to
We need more of you because I want to watch Grand Budapest Hotel, but he won't let me.
I want to wait. I want to watch like the Royal Tenenbaums. I want to watch Moonrise Kingdom.
I was like, this is the one you're preserving, even though we've done like fucking Alien.
There's a few. There's like Drive as well that I want to preserve.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Shoes. But if you look at the Grand Budapest Hotel, right, Ralph Fiennes in it, isn't it? And the way he's directed, the way he acts, the way he's directing, the whole he fits into Wes Anderson so well. Edward Norton's a great example. It's used consistently in the films. Even Owen Wilson, who plays the when they're doing that fucking hilarious cussing hilarious baseball game.
Yeah.
It's Owen Wilson who's like the coach.
I heard his voice, and like a little later on, my fiance Natalie was looking up like the voice actors list, and as she was looking up, I went, "Is that Owen Wilson?" She's like,
Yeah. No, it is. I'll just get the cast here, and it's the consistent use of Jason Schwartzman. He's consistently used in films. I think he is anyway. Willem Dafoe as the Rat. Right, so we're going on to casting now. I think I don't know if it was this film. It had. I think when it was starting to go in the film. I could be wrong. The first thing that was said was casting by so and so. This is the controversial subject. They've kind of nailed the casting.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've nailed it exactly in terms of story. There's a bit of controversy about this that my mate Mike spoke to me about. We'll go on there in a couple of seconds. I just want to go on about how well he directs people. This is an animation. Look at the way like George Clooney acts. It's Meryl Streep who plays Mrs. Fox. Good shout. Bill Murray he plays Clive the Badger. Or Clive Badger. No, Clive Badger is the one that digs him out.
I did not know that was Bill Murray again until
Kylie's awesome. This is it. So he's great cast, and then it's the way that these people just do it so well. George Clooney controversially nails that role. The casting is superb.
I'm interested about this controversy.
This is a British book, so why the fuck are all the animals American?
Okay, I get it.
But Mike, like credit him. When he said it, because this is why we were going to do the Royal Tenenbaums, but he said no, we'll do Fantastic Mr. Fox because it's a bit more popular and people know it more. And he said, well, I don't like that film because it has an American thing. And I was like, you know what, Mike? Roald Dahl is a legendary British author. I almost suspect to J.K. Rowling. I'm a huge fan of Roald Dahl, and he would be probably my favourite British author. Grew up reading his stuff. And yes, you have Michael Gambon, you have the other British lads doing the Three Farmers and respectively, the wife and the fucking kid, cussing kid, Mr. Bean's kid. Mr. Bean.
Since they're eating chocolate.
Oh, Dad's got tie. That's good. I just don't. I'm confused to why these American actors. I get that Wes Anderson's American, but why? Why? It's just weird. Unless all the American animals are a different kind of society, so it's imagine they're a different civilization. They're a different.
Yeah. To try and differentiate them a little bit from the thing.
Maybe.
I get the point. My feeling is more Wes Anderson is American. So why not let him use American actors? It's not like could you have ever seen a British director doing Fantastic Mr. Fox in this way?
See, this is the thing. So when I thought about this and I was watching it, I was like, yeah, it's at first it was frustrating me a little bit, and I was just like, why? But then I thought, and you just said it there, it does differentiate between the British farmers and the American kind of animals. So it's controversial. At first, I was like, it's fucking Roald Dahl. It's cussing Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
But now I think, you know what? The fact that George Clooney nails it, all this Wes Anderson's consistent use of cast, the majority of them consistently use like Bill Murray. It's this, they fill the role so well.
Yeah.
They do it so well. The fact it's stop motion animation and the acting's that good. It's like I haven't seen something this good since in regards to stop motion since Aardman. The one I need to watch is Kubo and the Two Strings. That's supposed to be like a lot of stop animation, and that's supposed to be spectacular. But you look at Aardman, like Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, like where it's like nailed to the ground. Nailed to the ground. Is that such a?
It's not a thing. He just made up some words.
I'm terrible with idioms. Whatever. It's class, but at the same time it makes you think. But then I don't regret that.
No, I think in terms of the casting, I think it's all spot on. Okay, they're not British. It is a shame that they're taking this British property and Americanizing it. travesty, but he just makes it his own. And like at that
Yes,
point,
he does.
Wes Anderson just took that book, expanded upon it, made it his own, put his own flair in it. As far as I'm concerned, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
If someone wants to go and make a more faithful version of Fantastic Mr. Fox and make everyone British, go for it. Like, and we'll watch that.
I completely agree with you there. I think that this is like what I was saying earlier. This is an adaptation of a British legendary story, done in his own fashion, and
if
he has
anything,
done really well.
I would say,
well.
I'd say not speak for Mr. Dahl, but Roald Dahl would probably see this and appreciate how much effort and how much someone else brought to his work. That he wouldn't care.
And it references it a lot.
That the American, he wouldn't care like at all. So anyway, moving on from casting. Story wise, I think it's great. I love the ridiculously of Christopherson.
What, he can do everything.
He's brilliant at everything.
Yeah.
He also doesn't want to do any of this stuff.
And Ash is just like,
every so often, Mr. Fox is like, put on this mask. Just every so often to people, he's like, put on this mask.
He's a bit of a. If you think about Mr. Fox, he's a bit of a bit up below an arse, isn't he? He doesn't really think of anyone else.
Oh, totally, yeah. And that's exactly what ends up with his like comeuppance. But like he gets that wonderful moment of character growth where he says, if they get me, this all stops, so I'm going, like, bye. And he goes up the ladder. So he does get that wonderful like character growth from it as well. It's not like he's just a dick and gets away with it. I guess he does kind of get away with it then, but like he's also like a charming dick. I think that's why
he's charming. With George Clooney.
Exactly, who can pull that off more than George Clooney?
Yeah, massively. No, it's good.
One of my favourite things, though, I just want to mention this because I want to put it down here, is the fact that every so often he mentions that he's scared of wolves.
Oh yeah, when
they're driving back,
when the badger
and the stop
thing,
the stop,
Kylie,
and just look at this wolf. And you think, like, I'm sitting there thinking, shit, is something about to go down. It's like this is like the final thing they have to get over. And then he's trying to talk to him. He's talking English, he's talking French, and it's like he doesn't speak English. And then she just goes,
yeah, because that's when the Kylie again, the possum, when he's got his eyes and all like that.
Yep.
And he goes, "Can you just give me a sign to see that you're listening?"
Yeah. And it's brilliant. And then he just cuts to the wolf and it hangs for a second. And then the wolf just goes. It's so funny.
But that's it's interesting to see Wes Anderson take on animation, take on stop motion animation.
Yeah, because he'd always put little bits of it into his films. This was like his first entirely animated feature.
And God, it's good. It's just his comic timing.
Yeah,
it's up there with Edgar Wright, I think.
Yeah, like I have to say, it's different type of humor completely, but he's definitely one of the best people in terms of nailing a visual gag.
Yeah. The one with the eyes, like, or even the blueberries, there's like a little subtle setting where the dog just stares at you, then flops. And how it carries on, then you get to Boggis, he does it and just goes like that.
I love that he was able to translate that all over to animated.
Yeah.
Especially stop motion animation. I can't imagine how difficult that is to get like
it's easier nowadays,
comedic humor timed properly for stop frame animation. Like
how does one do that?
One does not. Many do.
Yes, that's so right though. That's so right. Yeah, it's great. There was a really good part, and again, I only watched half the film, but I remember the whole thing. The use of music throughout the film was that like.
Don't tell me you didn't watch the whole thing.
I already said at the start.
People will be clicking back that going, "Oh my god, what did he just say?"
Well, that's why I make up these scenes at the bottom. Boing, it goes bow, 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 and it's got the country kind of music, especially when they're digging. The digging scene I love, by the way, and the digging. And doesn't it have a little snippet, if I recall, where the band are like playing together and it has like a lovely moment with the band? I'm sure it does. Come on, I've seen this film a few times.
With the band?
And they're all singing and the guys in this thing. Because you see the band earlier on, before when I actually went halfway through, please don't fuck me about over here, cuss me about. And they've got like, and all he says, how many, this is a good scene actually, when Bean goes, oh, how many people do you have 35? How many do you have 36? I've got 37. Oh, no, divided by 6. I was like, what? Why divided by 6 or something? Yes, we've got 100 and whatever. I shouldn't count that, 112. No, it's not even 112.
I think it's like 108 or something.
Yeah, 108. God, my maths is atrocious. I work in finance and my maths is terrible.
So, hang on, what's his band?
So, they've got all the people and they've got snipers against the fence.
Yep.
And they've got a massive pit.
Yep.
And you see his trailer, and then they've got the band next to them. Let me find it for you. Cussing find it for you. So
what band?
It's the people that make the music. Fantastic. Tell us something that you didn't like about the film.
that I didn't like about this film. There's not a great deal. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be a stylistic choice, but like a lot of that kind of flickery motion in the fur, because of the way
It's
the
weird,
stop
isn't
frame
it? Yeah,
animation,
it's
like
weird.
it is a little distracting. I'm fine with it. It's not the end of the world. I'll tell you a little story. When I was in uni, I think it was when this came out. As a friend of mine who went to cinema to see this,
Yeah.
and I'd never seen this film. I really wanted to see it when it came out. I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you off air.
You're a friend.
When this film came out, I really wanted to see it, but I never got a chance to go. And he went and saw it and said this was the only film he has ever walked out of
What?
because he hated it.
Why?
He thought it was terrible.
Yeah, but is this his first Wes Anderson film?
Probably.
I think
But
I made the
bearing
whole
in
bad
mind,
thing up.
like,
I'll find it.
I was
I'm
at
gonna
uni.
tweet it,
I was
mate.
at uni studying film. It's like he's on the course, and like seeing it this week and remembering that story, I just kind of crazy. I'd love to go back and like watch the film with that guy again and figure out either why he hates it or see if he now has come to like appreciate it.
Well, do you reckon it's like the whole Marmite moment of Wes Anderson?
Yeah, because like I don't think you're right, because I don't think this is a film for everyone. I definitely don't think this is actually an animation for kids.
No.
And not because
But
like
it's
particular
kid friendly,
content
like use
there.
the word cuss.
It's totally kid friendly. This feels very much like an episode of Wallace and Gromit or like Chicken Run, like you said earlier. It feels got the same sort of vibe to it.
Similar.
But like,
I'd man right the
but
role.
with different sort of like different ways of delivering it, which just feels more sophisticated. And if you don't
Yeah.
pick up on some of that, it can be a film which I guess you get turned off by. But
It's a cheese.
I love
he goes, chickens.
does that actually happen?
No, God, I hope so. Again,
Better not.
it doesn't happen. By the way, I just was saying something before. I will find it and I'll tweet it, right, tonight.
Okay.
I'll find that scene, I'll take a picture, and I'm sure you see the man at the bottom and the guy with the kind of the
I
soapboard.
will do my best and have a look as well.
He's going to slate me there right now. But I think this is... It's not the best example of Wes Anderson, but it is, because it's a completely different kind of one of his films. I think this is a really good way, and I think this is one of the reasons we chose it. It's a really good way for people to get into Wes Anderson and find a film for... What do you call it? Initial film for you to like. Like, this is the film whether you do or don't like Wes Anderson.
This is like the entry level.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Like the popular entry one. Everyone knows the story. Everyone knows George Clooney and stuff like that. You have this great film. I mean, it's got like 90, I think 3+% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, even like if you're not looking to get into Wes Anderson, this is just like a great piece of filmmaking. And Wes Anderson is one of those directors who does something so unique every single time. Like, he's got his style. You see something and you go, that looks like Wes Anderson. And that is such a special thing to have. Like, things look like a Wes Anderson film.
If you were like Scorsese and you had like one of his entry level ones, might be like Goodfellas or something like that, or Taxi Driver, like we did before.
Which is a great film. Go watch the episode.
This is Wes Anderson. If you're saying Wes Anderson's got great style, who's Wes Anderson? H&M is also a good thing, that little trailer, because that But I think that's more referential to his style. Like, that's saying like, I am Wes Anderson. This is H&M. We went together.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It does feel a little like that.
This will give you the Wes Anderson, and then you go, oh, you watch Fantastic Mr. Fox, do you like it? Yes. Right. Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel. We need to watch Royal Tenenbaums, and the other one, Mr. Zippy or something. It's called Z something. But yeah, it's honestly, it's lovely. It's a lovely film. I'm going to watch the rest of it tonight.
Cool. So let us know in the comments below what you thought of Fantastic Mr. Fox, or you can hit us up on Twitter if you want to let us know as well. The reason he's currently in hysterics is because we have planned out the past 2 or 3 films perfectly. We haven't had any of these cock-ups recently until right now, where we don't know what we're watching next week.
We'll have to do something popular.
So what I'm going to do instead is what we're going to be watching next week is right here. And right now, you actually know before we do what we're watching.
Why don't we get a hat and flip a coin?
That'd be so good. We should have like a big top hat here, and we had it full of little notes.
Why don't we?
I mean, we can try that. We just need a top hat.
We might do it next session, where we'll be in the same clothes again.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all next week to watch.
God knows what.
We'll see.
Next week.
To watch this.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.